everyone, welcome to GT Time. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us as always is our uniquely talented and knowledgeable panel, including Brandon Jones.
You're not gonna talk about the couch like immediately? I think you should address the couch like immediately.
A moderator's thing is, first I must introduce every guest so that they
Hi
can
everybody.
speak. Daniel Bloodworth
The energy is back.
and Michael Damiani.
I like the couch.
Okay, so
It's cozy.
That is true. It is actually, even though it's a pain to set up, it is kind of
to anyone
comfortable.
who chooses to listen to this podcast as a podcast.
Oh, it'll sound different, I assure you.
Yeah, everyone, if we all sound a little more relaxed, it's because we're sitting on couches and furniture this week. Smosh Games is borrowing our chairs, our normal chairs, so we
Yeah.
kind of improvised.
They asked Kyle's permission, and he said, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, I cave every time.
Without
Smosh-
asking my permission.
I know.
Which is good. Which is good that those things happen, so we can streamline our communication.
To explain the relationship, it's like they're like the varsity team in this office.
We're like the Glee Club.
Yeah, like Smosh is like they're like huge, and so like if they want something,
like
I'm like,
drama
yeah, right
team.
away, you can have it. Go ahead.
They're nice guys though.
Yeah, exactly. They are too. So why would I say no? So yeah, that's why
I've
we're on
gotten a
couches.
couple other names down. The rest of them I'm still trying to learn.
Blood, you gotta learn everybody on varsity. You gotta know their first names, last names.
Otherwise, they won't invite you to parties.
Yeah, we gotta.
We don't go
invited
to parties.
Varsity parties.
I'm
you're
turning
right.
down party invitations. Microsoft invites me to VIP event. No, it's okay.
Listen to cool Bloodworth.
I
over
know.
here.
Wow.
Like I don't.
What
I
did
don't
you get
know.
invited to that you're not going to?
Has it happened yet?
It's a.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're too cool to go to
Ouch.
the party.
That's a statement.
It's like a weird line. Like sometimes parties are okay for doing work, and then other times it's just like, well, we're just gonna get drunk and have some celebrities. I don't know.
So let's say I'm.
I don't want to disparage you.
Let's say I'm
but it's
Microsoft
just-
PR. Let's say I work at Microsoft PR. How do I get Daniel Bloodworth to come to my party? What do I put in that email? Damiani has an idea.
It's
what?
most likely to not call it a party. But
What?
actually, they need to. You would be the one. You were not going to go to any parties.
Oh.
Hold on.
You
I believe
won't
that-
even go to anything I invite you to.
We passed by something hilarious. Damiani's suggestion was that they give you a car to drive.
Or racing games.
No. I've turned those down for sure. They wanted me to go
Oh,
out to
give
the
them a-
desert and drive
right.
sports cars at one point. a
And why
couple
would
years
you say no to that?
Because I was working on the review for their game. That's totally weird. I'm like, I need to be playing your game right now, not
Right.
driving a car in the desert.
Too ethical. Too ethical. Let's move on. Let's talk about the news. That was a good warm up. We did it.
Yeah. It's the couch. I'm telling you, man.
It's the couch. Look at what it's done to
no
us.
one's gonna come back from this couch.
Suddenly
This
we're
couch.
hanging out. We're not like presenting a show. We're just being ourselves on a couch. Pretty interesting.
Who'da thunk?
Yeah. The news this week. Oh no, we got to do corrections first. I got ahead of myself. Of course, start corrections. The Nintendo 64 launched in North America on September 29th, 1996.
Oh yeah,
We
I
said
was 3
27?
days off.
We said 26th.
No.
3 days off.
You just maybe it's dyslexia. Maybe you flipped that 6 around or something.
I don't think that's.
No, that would have been 62.
But it was 96. Extra 6 in there. I don't know. I was pretty close though.
thought it was supposed to come out like on September 30th originally, and they moved it up a day or something.
Whoa, that would have been huge.
And they changed the price. Or was that GameCube? One of the two, they changed the system. That was N64 moved from $250 to $200.
They did change the price.
If that
There's a lot
happened
of changes
today,
that happened the last
That would be
time.
enormous. That would be a really huge deal. But like we just had magazines back then to read about it a month
But
later.
I didn't get my N64 till I remember playing Mario 64 right before Halloween. I had to wait like a month.
Whoa.
I was sad.
Yeah,
My friends all worked at Blockbuster got it the moment it came out.
that's pretty
We
cool.
all just like, whoops, N64 vanished from Blockbuster Video. Whoops.
And then it reappeared, or did it just kind of disappear forever?
I mean, it was just rented out. We
Yeah.
were just like,
That's
when
pretty
people
cool.
went to go, it's like, oh, we already rented one out. Yeah, we
Yeah.
beat Mario 64 in like 2 days. Just
That's so cool. That
no
must have been
sleep, just
mind-blowing.
hammered through it. Yeah, it was great. That was very fun. How do I control this? Like, what am I? What?
Oh,
This
yeah,
analog
the
stick moving this
controls, oh,
dude in
man.
third person. Yeah.
That was so weird.
Did we just talk about 64 for an hour?
We
Yes,
should,
it did.
but we still have the corrections music playing, so I got to move on.
Oh gosh.
We're correcting our past.
7.8 minutes is 7 minutes and 48 seconds. That's more of a clarification than anything.
Oh right.
Uh,
Because it's a lot easier when you have a calculator.
Damiani guessed 750, which isn't far off. I'm going to give him some credit for that. I guess like a commercial for like Cooking Channel or Food Network is using the theme music for GT Time. And that makes me outraged.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, so I'm going to find a new theme song for GT Time. And corrections music.
I do wish that music libraries weren't so cut and
It's
dry.
like the chairs, man. Stand up for yourself, Kyle. That's our music. Were they
don't
using
know.
it first?
No, but they've taken it. I mean, more people have. Well, I don't know. It comes down to a weird thing. Like we were talking about
Isn't
this
somebody
earlier.
using the burnt now too?
Yeah.
Mandatory updates.
Seth Meyers took you burnt.
Yeah.
From them.
Yeah. He's a huge MU fan. Though honestly, mandatory update steals a lot from weekend update.
Yeah.
So like it's
the
only
whole
fair
thing is
for
stolen
Seth
from
to
Weekend
come
Update
back.
for sure.
No, I mean, I love trailers, but people steal music all the time. I mean, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's
Every Zelda trailer using that
yeah.
kind of song.
Like American Horror Story is just like yoink from like horror films, and I'm like, you ever notice that's just like literally from Candyman, like straight? And they're like, oh, we didn't think people would notice that. It's like,
Yeah. You know what makes me like? It's so dumb. I get really angry about it. There was a PlayStation commercial that uses the last song off the new Daft Punk album, and I was like, I was gonna save that for a movie, you jerks!
Yeah.
And it's like, Kyle, you idiot! You're never gonna use that in a movie. Shut up.
it's your goal.
It is my goal to use
remember-
that song in a
the
movie.
weird thing was, that song Little Big Planet had is their theme song, even
Yeah.
though they didn't write it, and then
Yeah.
it ended up in like a Microsoft ad or
like
something.
a summer of live or something. yeah. It's same, but it makes me angry every time. It's like, oh, I had that. I wanted that for me. So, I don't know.
But it's not. You just paid money to use it.
We'll figure it out. Let's get down to the news. Weird story this week.
Okay.
Paranautical Activity
Oh man.
pulled from Steam after a developer threatens Gabe Newell's life. Got a lot of reactions from the panel just from reciting the headline.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, because we had gotten that Steam code, and we were gonna have somebody check it out, and it's like, oh, guess that's not gonna happen.
There's
now.
so many things that
Yeah.
just happened with this game. Like we just talked about, and let's all go to the trailers. Like
Right,
I finally
we're
saw
just in the
gameplay of this
trailer.
game for the first time. I was like, wow, what a crazy Twitch game. You know, it's like I love these like old school classic games that just run so fast because
Yeah,
the
yeah.
graphics are so
a
simplified.
little like voxely, very
Yeah.
flat images, things like that.
just looked like a crazy game. It's the kind of game where like he's like jumping from one platform to another and it will like land perfectly on a platform. It's like, how'd you do that? How do you like slow yourself down in a first-person shooter when jumping? Like I wonder how the controls were.
I
And
feel
then
like
like
you just
right
play
when that game popped
back
up on my
on ice.
radar, gone. You know.
Yeah. So to describe what happened, shoot, I should read the tweet out loud. I don't know if I should.
I could read it for a bit. I mean, it's a hell of a quote.
I am going to kill Gabe Newell.
He is going to die.
I was reading from paper. Brendan Jones really did just commit that to memory.
Yeah.
How do you forget that, man? Because it's not like the last sentence of a blog. It's not like a series of tweets and then that's the last thing. That is textbook Webster's Dictionary death threat. That's what that is. There's no way to read through the lines. There is no.
Well, we should explain. We should explain what happened, why this
Right.
person would type that out. The developer's name was Mike Malbec, creator actually of the game. Basically, I think it was Steam mislabeled it. Was improperly noting that of the status of the game. I think they were calling it early access when it clearly wasn't. It was launched, and I think that was only up for like 2 or 3 hours that it was mislabeled, and that drove to read it one more time for us, Brandon.
I'm going to kill Gabe Newell. He is going to die.
Yeah, on Twitter, tweeted that out.
Yeah, and Steam's reaction was like, all your frustration, all your other tweets, that was fine, but death threats against people
And you
who
know
aren't
what
here
else?
now.
You know what else? I even think I'm going to kill Gabe Newell wouldn't have been a big thing. You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, like
Yeah, we get that.
12 Angry Men is based
Yeah.
on. It's a classic line from 12 Angry Men. It's like they were gonna send this guy to the electric chair because someone overheard him yelling, "I'm gonna kill you," and they argued like, how many times have you said that to somebody? Somebody at work, you're talking to somebody else in confidence, and you're like, obviously Twitter isn't in confidence, but like. You could see somebody saying that and be like, okay, I'm not going to say that. But to put a space between the two sentences and specifically add, he is going to die, is like, that's what I'm planning to do. That's what you do on Twitter. You state your intentions. Like, you don't like, it's not a guessing game, like whack-a-mole. Like, maybe this is true and maybe this isn't. It's like, that's not how it works. It's not up to me to decide that. I'm going to take everything you say at face value.
So do you think, you clearly think Valve did the right thing here, right? By pulling the game?
I think they reacted. I think they could have done even more. I mean, I think they
Yeah, I
could
mean,
have-
the appropriate response
my
is
God.
to notify the police. I mean,
Yeah, I mean-
I don't understand why people think like they can just say stuff like this, and it's fine. Like,
It's just the era. It's the Wild West, which we're
Yeah.
still transitioning through. I thought in the teens we would not be in this place in the internet for as long as we've been on the web. But it's like, here it is. We're finally at this point where it's like, oh, you can't do that. Like, no, you can't call a SWAT team on a guy you don't like in a shooter. You can't do that.
Right.
Not only you can't. And it's not something. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, I hate that this happens, and what this is so terrible. This is our community. It's like, kind of glad that happened, so everyone else can be like, whoa, I'm not gonna do that.
That's why I like
crazy.
It. That's
really
why I like
reevaluating
pulling the game.
Yeah.
Because another interesting thing is after it was pulled, he tweeted, "Don't worry, guys. Everything is going to be okay. We sold 12 copies on non-Steam platforms today."
Right. Not writing a huge apology, not being like, you know what, this is a great opportunity for me to stand up on a platform and communicate to people. Like, it's really tough being a developer, it's really stressful, and you can step over this line and it's not okay. Just being like, well, guess that's just the way it is. It's like, you're digging your grave.
Yeah.
Man. You're like,
Well,
he also said he's not gonna make games anymore. I mean, I don't know if that's true. Phil Fish has said that before, but
what's crazy about that to me is that like only 12 people were curious enough about this game to buy it not on Steam. You know what I mean? There are other ways to buy this game, and only 12 people wanted to. That's insane. Damiani, does Steam just like own the independent game PC space?
I mean, I think it's important to be on there. I think if you're not on there, it's kind of hard to sell
You're gonna
very
sell
well
12
anymore.
copies.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, I'm trying to think of any games that come to mind that have done pretty well on Steam and off of Steam as well. But it seems like it's always in conjunction.
Yeah,
Like if
yeah.
you're not on Steam in the
Well,
first place, you don't do as well.
Minecraft had a long time before it was on Steam.
Yeah.
Sure.
But
It's
I think
Minecraft.
that was a little bit, yeah, like I think nowadays it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have to kind of, everyone's fighting to be on Steam. Like everyone wants to be part of like, their Greenlight program. They want to be like an early access. They want to just be somewhere on there to get a chance to be like a full-fledged release on Steam, because that means so much, especially come, whether you differ with the opinions, not come the sales time. Like everyone just like gobbles it up and stuff, and then good word of mouth. Like I actually bought this for like $1, and then like this is pretty good. Like go play it. Oh, this sale's over. I'll go. It's only $5 now. I'll still buy it too. Like I think it's kind of important to be on there. It's like kind of being like on Amazon or being in Walmart. Like if you're not stocked in Walmart, like for physical retail, you're like, it's like a death sentence for a lot of like things.
So what's interesting is Walmart uses their muscle. Walmart pressures people who get manufacturers and things. People, they use that muscle. Do you think Valve uses the Steam muscle, or do you think they're just kind of incidentally the go-to for like the store of like games?
I mean, yeah, there's this weird thing that people have, like this perception is like they want everything in their Steam library and all in that convenient place, and their achievements and their friends lists and stuff like that. And it's, obviously, Blizzard stuff's not on Steam, right? It's,
Nope.
If you've got enough going on, you don't have to be on Steam.
Right. EA and Ubisoft both have their own things going on.
Yeah, but EA's is what? EA is EA stuff. I can't keep track of what EA is doing. Sometimes their stuff is on Steam and sometimes it's not.
It used to all
It's
be.
really
then,
weird.
then they start pulling stuff though.
Yeah,
once they start push Origin.
That's what I mean. It's like it's kind of hard for me to keep track of like where that is actually at. So I'd have to kind of look into it right now.
But my impression is that like Steam became the #1 store kind of incidentally, just out of Valve doing a really good job with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
the
mean?
sales and everything like that. Yeah.
And so like,
for me, this might not be the consumer base at large,
Yeah.
but like they're a developer and like a damn good developer.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big thing. It's like to me, the iPad is a great comparison where it's just like if you have an independent game, you get on that iTunes store, or like you can't get Led Zeppelin on the iTunes store because they wouldn't, they don't need that, to make money. Yeah, I just think it's that opportunity. It's like opening up that that other, I don't know, audience. It's like it could just be such a huge boost in sales that you got to do it.
yeah. Do you think 5 years from now, we're gonna look back at Twitter and we're gonna be like, man, Twitter really, that was something. This all happened because of Twitter. You know what I mean?
Right.
This person couldn't have done that 10 years ago. That just wouldn't have happened. He could have maybe written a blog post that no one would have seen. That's what the strangest thing is. This is all Twitter's fault.
Well, it's all his fault. But yeah,
Yeah, it's not Twitter's fault.
it's Twitter's doing, but it's
it
his
is-
fault.
No, it is interesting how, like, we've had all these social media sites, and there's still a lot of other things out there, like Tumblr and Pinterest and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's weird how yeah, Twitter and Facebook have like become the standard social media sites that like all of the companies and everybody is on. That, like they make sure that they have strategies individually for those platforms and everything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's even like social media. You know what I mean? Social media is like you and me talking to each other. Like, it's like media at this point. Twitter is media. This is where like you can get news. Where news happens on Twitter is bizarre. This is news that like came out of Twitter.
Well, I mean, you're making essentially published statements.
Yeah.
They're short published statements, but they're published statements.
Exactly, and that's the weird thing is like, published statement is a great word to use because when I'm tweeting about like how weird lunch was, that's a published statement now. It's the same way this person telling Gabe Newell to die is. It's really, really strange.
Yeah, because I mean, if you say something like that, in the office, you're really angry and frustrated. A couple of people heard that, and depending on the context and the tone of your voice and everything, like they can judge like how serious you are about that. But
Yeah.
when you just put it out there as plain text, like there's no irony to read in that. There's no sarcasm to be able to find in that. You just have those words,
Yeah.
and it's up to anyone's
we didn't,
interpretation.
like, just discover that. I mean, it's so
Yeah.
obvious.
Yeah.
But it kind of reminds me of like I remember the internet came out before I went to college, but college was like the first time where I could actually just like have the internet write a paper for me, and like that was a lot of professors in high school teachers like didn't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
And now like you can go to college through the internet. It's like they're taking advantage of those things and finding out how to police that stuff and set standards. We just don't have that now with social media. People can just blurt stuff and then not realize like, oh, is that true? Did that happen? But it's kind of exciting at the same time because, when, teachers weren't trusting all this information that came from the internet, at the same time you could find all sorts of really amazing information that you never knew. And it's amazing now because we can get things, news stories you would never hear about, people taking pictures in other countries, like sides of news stories that you would never get. But at the same time, it's tough to parse like what's
It's
real.
really tough to parse what's for real and what's not.
Yeah.
What's kind of, I don't know,
I mean, that's the
interesting.
thing, like,
it's fun
too,
to be on the
like,
ground
like
floor.
now that like we know how many studies are going on, it's like, well, somebody did a study on something that doesn't prove anything anymore.
Wait, what do you mean in particular? What are you referring to?
Like people, like stuff like video game violence. It's like, oh, this guy
Right.
did a study that proves video game violence is beneficial for people. This guy did a study
Right.
that's terrible, and they're like,
Sure.
I don't know.
Well, it's all based on how many studies that they do, how many people are involved in the studies, how many people
Who's funding it?
how many
where their
people
bias starts?
read
whole
the study
nine yards.
before it was published. If
Yeah.
it was like if no one read it, then it's like don't ever listen to that.
But it's this weird thing where it's like, if you can write something that sounds convincing,
Right.
lots of people will believe it's true, whether it is or not.
I think Brandon touched on a nice thing. I bet if Mike Malbec, if he apologized, it would have been a whole different thing.
immediately.
Yeah, he did kind of apologize. He said, "I'm removing myself from my company. I clearly damaged it. I'm leaving this studio." You know what I mean? But like, if he didn't make that other tweet of just like, "Thanks, Steam, you ruined me." This is like, yeah, we ruined you. Good. We're happy to have done that. It's all about your attitude and your apologizing. Adam Worth, do you remember that from last year? The guy who said Damiani facepalmed. Do you remember the guy
That
who
wasn't
said
last year. Was it the year before? Or was it last year?
It was just last year. That was not even that long ago. He just got boned because of some Twitter statements about always online.
I missed that. I don't remember that guy.
Yeah. No, you're right. Maybe that was a year before last year. Gosh, the time flies. It was before the Xbox One was out.
Yeah, it must have been last year.
Okay.
It's-
It
yeah.
was last year. Yeah.
Did you use
The
harsh
Xbox.
language?
We didn't even have an Xbox One at this point last year.
Nope. We're still not a year into
What a crazy
gen.
year! What are we doing?
I know. People are just bitching and moaning about next gen. About
Where are the games?
all
Where
these
are
games
they?
that got delayed. It's like, oh, everything got bumped out of October. Can you imagine what kind of unbelievably chaotic the games that we would have to pass up? We're like, there's no way we would have time to review that.
Yeah.
Thank God Batman didn't come out this month.
And Evolve.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. And The Order, what I think was supposed to be.
Yep.
Yeah. Gosh, that would have been a crazy month. Now it's just February. All right. Moving on.
February's gonna be nuts.
Sorry.
February's gonna be nuts.
February is
gonna
going
be
to be a
fun.
nasty month for this office.
My birthday's on January 20th, so everybody send me those February games on my birthday.
Who's everybody? You mean you want the fans?
Everybody.
You want your fans to like
No,
send
the
you games?
publishers.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I want early
Yeah,
access.
Brandon's
early birthday access.
editor-in-chief now. He's the go-to target.
When you say everybody here, it's like everybody send me games for my
All right,
birthday.
just Warner Brothers. Just that's it. Warner Brothers.
How many more copies of
Send me
Skylanders do you
Batman.
want?
I don't need more copies. I need more Trap Masters. Damn it! Jeez. Do you know they have 2 Trap Masters per element?
No.
There's like 16, 18, 20 trap masters.
I like that though. I like that. Okay, I need this element. I can just choose which one. Otherwise you're stuck. Like,
Right.
oh well, you're stuck with blows.
It's kind of like it's used typically male-female. So if you're like,
Okay.
you have a daughter and she's into Skylander, she can get the female Earth
cool.
Skylander. Back to the topic at hand. Sorry.
Yeah, and
Gaia.
don't be afraid to buy girls for your boys and boys for your girls also. Just a little political statement here on
I like
GT.
Ian has something up on his wall that says, "Are you a boy or a girl?" And the answer is no.
Okay,
I like that.
sure. Very forward thinking.
Ian, very deep.
Our next story, talking about our crazy February coming up, there's an event called the PlayStation Experience.
Okay.
Live, fan-oriented event happening in Vegas on December 6th and 7th, or 5th and 6th.
Wait, didn't you say February? What is that? You're confusing me.
Oh, because it's like to promote PlayStation. PlayStation is throwing an event to promote PlayStation. Their own little E3, their own little BlizzCon, basically. I knew of this last week, and I didn't bring it to GT time because I thought it was going to be like a silly nonsense thing. It might be a bigger deal. So what it is, it's a 2-day event. It's $50 for 1 day, $90 for 2, and so like anyone can come and see this. And basically, I didn't think it was a huge deal, but they revealed a trailer this week that promised some exciting game announcements. And then they show like the people who are going to be on the panels, and there's like Yoshinori Ono is there, and like Suda51 is there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a serious
What
event.
is Suda's game? It was Lily Bergamo that got turned into something else.
It's it's something about death.
The dumb live action trailers they kept doing. I forget
Yeah,
what it's
death
called,
is in.
though.
It's good, like death on a skateboard. Well, there's clarification for next week. Unless Blood's pulling on this.
No, I can't remember.
He's got his fishing line out there.
I can't remember
Can you
it.
imagine if you were about to drop $90 and you didn't, and they announced Last Guardian playable at the event?
Brandon, exactly. So this is what I want to talk about. Could this thing be a huge deal? Could this be a huge deal?
Of
I
course, if
mean-
it's Last Guardian, if it's
I mean,
What
there
else?
can be some stuff. I mean, Ono being there says deep down to me. So deep,
Yeah, he's been general like Capcom guy for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying that like that's what he's been associated with over the
Yeah.
past year. I mean, they might reveal some stuff, but I don't know. Like, I feel like it could be very much like they're going to show a lot of stuff that we know is coming.
Uncharted 4, they've promised. They've promised we'll show some Uncharted 4 stuff.
And, but then that's the thing. Right? Remember when they had the launch event last year, and they're like, we're going to show all this new stuff, and like it was basically just like that teaser for Uncharted 4. It was just the map.
I do remember that.
That was the big thing.
Well, they're not going to show a map twice, Blood. There's going
Well,
to be
no.
something
I'm
this
saying
year.
like, but if they announce another new game,
Oh, it's gonna be a
it
map.
could be very much on the map level.
Sure. Like the Last Guardian announcement is a map. Yeah.
well, that's. I mean, it is funny. Not funny. It is great that Sony is being so much more involved in the quote unquote independent community, or like lesser, huge AAA games that they would typically talk about at press conferences. But at the same time, when they talk about a new game announcement,
there's
it's
been
like
a lot
it
of
could
events.
be anything. Like
Sure.
Like even like
it could be DLC. It could
like
be
media preview events. It's like, yeah, I don't need to play Flower again. Thanks for bringing that.
ouch.
I mean, I can play Flower anytime I want. That's what it's on PS4 now. Great.
Damiani, are you as skeptical as these two are?
I don't think there's gonna be anything super huge at this.
Wow, so you're 3 skeptics on
3
the
for
couch.
3.
It's in December. I don't know what they're gonna have that's gonna be huge.
So, I mean, historically, VGA's had some big announcements in Decembers. This is where I think Uncharted 3 was announced. This is when Skyrim was announced. The Last of Us was seen for the first time in December. December is not like a month that's never huge. Do you know what I mean?
But that's VGA's, and that's like many game companies.
Right.
This is just Sony.
Do you think Sony would? But like, do you think Sony has a Last of Us?
That's interesting because that
Caliber
is
announcement.
kind of the same weekend the VGAs would happen on. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, early December.
Those
Yeah.
announced. They haven't announced dates yet, have they?
No.
Yeah. So that could happen on the same weekend.
Well, that would suck for
That'd
VGAs,
be weird.
huh? What?
Dual
What's that
stream.
for?
You have to like
for
split
VGAs.
the live stream.
Get 2 monitors, yeah.
Yeah.
So sorry, keep going on your point though that I just demolished. That
I don't think you
big
demolished.
announcements happen in December.
Sony will talk about like 2 games that are not going to be The Last Guardian, which you're hoping for. So What are you expecting? There's gonna be like The Order there. There's gonna be Bloodborne there. There's gonna be a lot
those
of
are, like, the ones
it's
that
gonna be a lot of
should
games that are
obviously be
coming
there.
out in Q1 that you're gonna get to actually play.
Yeah.
And then they might announce like 1 or 2 games coming out in Q2, but I don't think they're gonna be huge.
So this kind of event is unprecedented. And what I did want to talk to the panel about is like, business-wise, you think this is a good idea for Sony to do this thing? This event where they throw it in Vegas.
Oh yeah, I mean
anyone
they've
can
been
come.
all about connecting with their fans, and that's why where they're at right now. And yeah, absolutely, you get something that's fan oriented out there and let people come in. And I mean, the ticket prices are a little expensive, but they're not crazy for
So you're gonna
something
make some
if you're gonna
noise.
fly to Vegas for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean I think it's definitely a good thing for them to do.
Damiani doesn't seem to think so. He was shaking his head.
I mean, no, it's fine. I just think it's gonna be a consumer-oriented, like public event for people to get hands-on with stuff, get to see the developers, go to like panels and like
panels, I think, are
and see
cool.
them discuss
Yeah.
stuff. They might reveal a new trailer for existing stuff. I just don't, and I just feel like there'll be like maybe one big announcement, and it's not gonna be Last Guardian, and it's gonna be one big announcement, and that's all they're gonna
It's
like
probably
throw
going
it
to be
there.
Sony Santa Monica, whatever they're working on.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna like throw too much at people in terms of like big announcement. I think it's more of like the whole like a fan festival celebration type thing where come celebrate PlayStation, and we're rewarding like our fans for like being loyal supporters of PlayStation 4 because like we're like the #1 selling system right now. We're doing awesome. Like let's throw a party.
Yeah. So interesting thing is, Sony's been on top before. You know, with the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, didn't do an event like this. Didn't do basically a convention. They're calling it PlayStation Experience, but we can call it the PlayStation Convention. I guess it's weird now. I'm wondering if this is the kind of thing where it's just like we're having this event for fans because we get more out of that than having media come to this kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like a tweet is more valuable than like some dumb write-up on some dumb blog or like a.
Potentially.
There's going to be a lot of dumb
conversation,
write-ups
do you
on
know
a
what I
lot of dumb blogs. What do you mean?
Do you think press will be there too? Press and media will be there too?
I think to an extent, yeah. I mean, I
Okay.
haven't seen any kind of invitations or anything, but I wouldn't be surprised.
It's just cool. It is cool to throw this event for people, for human beings, I guess.
We're not human beings.
We are subhuman, yeah.
We're mutants. But everybody's trying to do that. That's like Xbox's message coming out of E3. It's like we're listening to our fans. We want to address their concerns, fix the problems with Xbox, be upfront about everything that we're doing, decisions we're making business-wise. Nintendo making all sorts of goofy, weird, streams and commercials and videos that they've
They're
done.
The
directs.
Best Buy
Nintendo
things. You saw those
directs.
lines at Best
Teaming
Buy.
up with different
Sure.
outlets and different content creators and stuff. I think they're all kind of getting into that.
And they're really putting the Treehouse out there more. Like, you know,
Yeah.
there was that thing today we weren't able to go to, but they have, like, hey, you can talk to Treehouse guys.
Where normally they've been just kind of like, don't even. The
Yeah,
Treehouse is
I
a
feel like.
secret.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like. I mean, they've been out there. I mean, I've done plenty of interviews with them over the years, but they haven't been like pushed up
Yeah.
as much.
You're right. This is all great. This is all very interactive, I guess, which is pretty interesting.
But no, I feel like what they probably with Nintendo especially, I feel like they're giving the Treehouse guys sort of like the chance to kind of lead that charge and like what they want to do. Like I feel like like some of the stuff that they've done like at E3 and Comic-Con has been because the Treehouse guys suggested it and wanted to do that kind of thing,
Yeah.
and it's been a huge success.
Yeah, it's been very cool. They had a whole day of streaming. Do you remember that when Smash Brothers was like the grand thing at the end, but they even had like a Mega Man on there, and yeah, that was by Treehouse. They were like, we want to do this.
And it's funny because I remember the first time I found out about Treehouse was, from those goofy VHS tapes in '94 when they were talking up Donkey Kong Country and Killer Instinct and stuff.
And Star Fox. Wait, so what did they say about the Treehouse within that?
I mean, they were just talking. I mean, the guys were from the Treehouse.
Oh,
it's
their like little lower third. It would be like something from Treehouse.
Yeah, I mean, they showed like kind of behind the scenes, like top secret areas and all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oh,
And they even showed Nintendo's cafeteria, which is pretty amazing cafeteria.
describe the cafeteria.
I mean, they have like their own chefs, and so like they have custom things. But they made a joke with Donkey Kong Country about a bunch of bananas and stuff.
And that worked on us. Just like we're willing to laugh at that joke on a VHS.
Well, it was like
tape.
our
It's
first,
yeah,
like
yeah,
that was
exactly.
like our first chance to
Yeah.
connect to like Nintendo as people.
Yeah.
You know?
Then it was VHS tapes, and now it's YouTube and it's Twitch. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I think even at that point, like most people didn't really even know who Miyamoto was yet when
Right.
those things went out. So like the Treehouse guys were sort of the ambassadors at that point, other than what Howard and Nestor or whatever, Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
I missed all that stuff, man. The codes, like demos people got from discs being sent out and everything. Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I didn't even know what E3 was until 2001.
I didn't see. Yeah, I
Never
didn't
even
see
heard
those
of it,
tapes
like-
until they were up on YouTube, and then we
Yeah.
could all laugh at them. But yeah, I didn't see those tapes at the time.
So out of the loop.
Yeah,
I watched them so many times over and over.
that's really cool, Blood. That's awesome. You have what's awesome is right now you are thinking of what the Nintendo cafeteria looks like. You have an image of it, and the rest of us don't. Well, maybe Damian, did you watch those tapes?
And I did. What's more in my image or in my mind right now is the redesigned ones they did, like the Pikmin theme or whatever they did. They redid their headquarters recently, and they had like all the different themes on games or something. They took like some photos. Like there's like it's either a Pikmin garden on the roof or something. Like
Whoa.
I don't know. No one saw those.
No, how'd you get access to?
No,
this
they like put them
information?
out there. Like they did like a press release and everything about
okay.
their. Remember they made the new building next to the old one
Right.
in Redmond, Washington.
No, this is Damian.
I didn't follow that whole story, but yeah, I remember them talking about the new building.
Guess I'm not a true fan.
Guess you didn't watch Game Explain.
It was a Game Explain video.
No.
Oh, okay.
You don't read
Those are the true-
I'd
Nintendo.
like to go
You
to
didn't read
Nintendo
Go
more.
Nintendo.
I've only
yeah.
been there once.
Go Nintendo had the exclusive.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't think they did.
Let's go, field trip.
Trolling. This is why
I
we need,
approve
the
it.
we need the troll music to begin. It's just like gong, 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 gong. So let's move on. Let's talk about some other news. This was a cool story. Halo Master Chief Collection pushes up some release dates to achieve worldwide release, nearly worldwide. There's like 3 countries getting left out.
So it's 11th here.
Yeah, 11th everywhere. I guess I should include the exceptions in case you live in one of those. Belgium, I'm sorry, you get it on November 12th.
Oh.
Japan, apologies, November 13th. France, you really got shafted here, November 14th.
That's really weird. That's super. I mean,
That
like
is really
Friday European release is normal, but it's weird that Belgium and France are exceptions, and then the rest of Europe is getting it on the 11th.
Yeah, it's exactly what's happening. But anyway,
That could just be like stubborn retailers.
it could be.
They're like, we're not going to change the date. blah, blah, blah."
Honestly, it could be any dumb, weird little thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, the good thing
The
is
French stubborn? It's terrible. I don't know nearly enough French
they're
people to
really
make that
sticking to
joke.
that November 14th. Crazy. To me, I love worldwide releases. I think those are the greatest things.
Especially for a classic game that it's like there's going to be no discovery. There's going to be no like, wow, did you see that scene in Halo 2? It's
Sure.
like
But they're acting
everything is
like
just going to be
it's
let's play
the
it right
hugest
now.
deal
Like,
in the world. So
no, it's still a big game. I'm just saying
Yeah.
it's not the kind of thing where like there
You
could be
can
so
spoil
much
it.
chatter
Yeah.
where it's just like there's new profound things about the Master Chief Collection that we don't know about. It's like we know what this game's going to be. And we just got to get our hands on it.
Yeah.
We haven't seen some of those cinemas. That's going to be really cool. Like seeing a lot of stuff that Blur put together. I think that's the main thing that like if those all leak on YouTube, they'll try to shut that down. But like everything
Oh,
else is
yeah.
just like
I
all of
wonder-
you need to play this right now so you can
wonder
start
what
saying things
that
about it.
restriction sheet is going to look like.
What? All right, Blood. But since you brought it up, we have to explain what a restriction sheet
He
is.
just throws things out there. He'll step through my doorway, taking up the entire doorway, and just make like a declarative statement. I'm like, what?
So for everyone in the audience, what is a restriction sheet?
I mean, usually like they tell us, you know, what not to spoil or whatever. Like you can't.
So there's a
you
list
can't
of-
record past this point, and Nintendo has some of the crazier ones.
Square
They're
Enix is
like-
the worst
Square Enix is the worst. Yeah, they try to tell you that you can't record anything.
for games that you already have played.
Give me an example
Like-
of a bad restriction.
I think-
No CG cutscenes
Yeah,
whatsoever.
Kingdom Hearts, you can't show no CG cutscenes in a game that's been out for over a decade.
Wow, brutal.
Don't show the CG
Why not?
because it's
That's a
Square
spoiler. I guess
Enix.
that's considered like something you're buying.
But
the game for.
but a
That's
lot of
the
them
thing.
now, it's what they clarify that like it's okay if it's intercut. It just don't.
Yeah,
show
they
the
don't
whole
want like the
scene.
entire like so to clarify like Square Enix doesn't want like entire CG cutscenes up there because they want people to actually play
That's what you pay
buy
for.
the game
Yeah,
to,
that's the
to see
premium.
them and stuff.
That makes sense to me. Actually.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, especially on preview builds, there's a lot of times where like you can't just put up straight gameplay. You have to talk over it or edit it somehow.
Sleeping Dogs. They mentioned the opening in the if we did review coverage or anything, don't show the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So sometimes this can be really tantalizing though, because I remember when we got Arkham Asylum, they specifically said like, please do not show the Bruce Wayne flashback where he goes back and relives you're little Bruce Wayne walking down.
The worst thing
alley.
is
You really
when you
wanted
have
to.
a
which is
spoiler,
like the greatest.
the worst
Well,
thing is
no,
when you
I
have
mean,
a spoiler list for a game that you're actually interested in, and you accidentally you read the wrong thing.
Right,
It's like, oh
sure.
no.
It's the
I
life,
know that
life of
now.
a reviewer. It's tough.
That was a great tangent. Basically, back to Master Chief Collection, back to worldwide release. I feel like more than ever we are like a global market. Do you know what I mean? Because of stupid social media and things. Something that you're talking about is read all over the world. And so, like, I wish more games would push for this kind of, like, everyone gets a game at once.
I think that it's funny. I never even thought about this, but like that could be next gen. Like I think I know it's ridiculous to talk about like next gen, like Gen 9, right? But like that would be huge. That would be so much bigger than like which is everything looks better or it's more HD, 8K. Like what would really blow my mind is Xbox 2 and PS5 together. It's like the Destiny everyone's playing. Like you can play with any console, any country.
They
Doesn't
can
matter.
do
Everything's
that now.
universal.
They just don't.
Exactly.
that's
Well, yeah,
what's
we can
frustrating.
have better cell phone coverage, but they don't.
But exactly, this kind of thing proves like you could do it if you work hard enough. You can make these worldwide launches happen. Like do that more, please.
Yeah.
Is how I feel.
Xbox 2. That'd be funny.
TWO.
I want
yeah.
an Xbox 2 t-shirt now.
I'm sure it exists. There's a T-shirt for everything. Another thing that happened last weekend: the big old League of Legends Championship. The winner is the Korean programming team, Samsung Galaxy White, took home $1 million.
Their name's Samsung Galaxy White.
Yeah.
That's the name of the team?
Yeah.
Oh, sponsorships.
They're shorthanded as Samsung White, but yeah, they're
So who are the Curse is big? Who are the other like big teams?
Cloud9.
Wow, they all got beat?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I forget the Chinese team name. They were second. It's I can't remember. Anyway.
I'm just gonna admit here how little I know about League of Legends. I love that game, but I've never been like a gigantic PC gamer, so which is my own damn stupid fault. But like when we were at PAX and they had like the lead-in line and they had all the symbols up, I thought those were like game symbols. I thought those were like the elements of the game, and like didn't realize like those are all the insignia of all of the teams that would be
teams.
competing. There's some cool logos that they have.
Starhorn Royal Club. Sorry, that's the Chinese team name.
Oh, okay.
Great
Okay.
name. Starhorn Royal Club. The second place. Yeah, that's what's kind of funny is, I mean, Riot makes those logos for the teams.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so
They got
like,
a lot of people over there.
Yeah.
They got Patrick Morales.
How damn proud of yourself would you have to be at a giant media event like that and see this, your logo? It's like that's your Superman S
So that's a weird
up
thing
on the
to
wall,
me.
a giant poster.
That's not. I mean, they probably collaborate, but like it's just like, oh, Riot made that logo for me, as opposed to like I'm Superman. I made my own logo.
Riot can make a logo for Riot can make a logo for me anytime they want. I would not send this back and be like, make those ears a little shorter. Or make that, it's like, oh my god, thank you.
Yeah.
It's like people doing art for Tabletop Adventures. Not gonna be like, try again.
You're right. Yeah. I see it. You feel like I'm a little honored. The first place winner of the international, that's the Dota 2 tournament, first place team received over $5 million. Question for the panel: is League of Legends for chumps? Are you an idiot if you're playing League of Legends for $1 million when you could get $5 million playing Dota 2?
Start troll music.
Begin troll music.
Well, when you ask that question,
Yeah. I'm trolling, but I'm curious. Like,
Why do you think that is?
I have been told that Dota 2 takes more skill than League of Legends.
Ooh.
I can't vouch for that though.
Told. Okay.
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
people who play both.
I think nobody in this panel really plays the games consistently, right?
that's
Anymore.
Not a
true.
chance.
Yeah.
Not
Not a
a
chance
chance.
even. Wait, what would it take?
I am at least
Nope.
ashamed of my lack of knowledge.
Yeah,
Damiani
he's
is like,
proud
nope.
of his own lack of knowledge. Yeah.
Not a chance. I don't think either is really for chumps. When you talk about millions of dollars,
Yeah,
Yeah.
are you kidding me?
exactly. Isn't that crazy?
We're the chumps.
We're the chumps, exactly.
Sitting here
I don't-
talking about video games, we could be
I get
playing
$0
them and
million
making millions
Yeah,
of
we
dollars.
are not
Yeah.
making that much money. And any projection of our future.
Yeah. There's no game I'm good at that if I'm the best at, I will get any millions of dollars.
Any of you were.
What's the GoldenEye money?
There's like
now?
only like
Yeah.
two or
Where's GoldenEye at right
It's
now?
like like
Anything?
only
Couple
League,
foul?
only Riot and Valve can throw up that type of money really, and maybe Blizzard.
Yeah.
But you're not. That's it. Everyone else is like.
Well,
you're
doesn't
not
a lot of
getting
that
money.
just coming from the sponsors as well.
Yeah, but they're big enough to get those types
Yeah.
of sponsors to
Yeah.
come at them like that.
Valve does really interesting things with how they raise money for their prizes. In that they do like stretch goals and like people playing, and the more people who play and do these things, the more money the tournament raises. They do really, really smart things with that. So there's not necessarily all sponsors, but yeah. They've got clever tricks to get up to 5 million for number one. Pretty cool.
It's extremely cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, hats off to any of the people that do that. I mean, it's not something I would have ever thought about, 10, 15 years ago. That's just like, wow, I'm really good at this game. That like I'd get to a point where you'd see people like, wow, you are extremely good. This could be crazy as a developer to be making a game knowing that like there are players out there that will be so much better at this game, 5, 6, 10, 100 times better at this game. That'll get way more points, way more stuff. Discover things that you can produce in this code that we couldn't even imagine.
Well, no, that's
Yeah.
what when I saw the reveal of Killing Floor 2, they were talking about that. It's like, one of their modes is like, well, if we know that we can't beat it, then it's hard enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because
that's great, yeah.
the players out there, they won't have a problem. But if we can't beat it, then it's probably
Yeah,
it's the right
speed
level.
runs, Donkey Kong, man, like
Yeah.
that score battle, like that's so fascinating.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, even like discovering combos in Street Fighter 2, like a game that wasn't designed necessarily around combos, but people just figured them out, and then that became what fighting games are. It's so good.
Yeah.
I just wish I followed it more or knew more about it. It's,
What would make you follow it more? What would make you like, oh man, I got to see who wins League of Legends?
if I
again?
cloned myself?
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Or if I got fired, really, if I had no job, then like, oh great, now I can play Destiny and Warcraft and follow esports.
Yeah. All right. So it is number 3 though. Warcraft is number 2. If we're ranking the priorities,
That's just games related stuff. I might even
yeah.
put some, prioritize some stuff. I don't have any kids, so I'd have to
alright,
probably
so-
lump that in there.
Yeah.
Gosh, is this job keeping you from kids?
Yeah, it's not something I cry about.
Okay,
I'm pretty
alright,
good.
alright.
'Cause my kids will play my damn games.
Yeah.
They'll steal all my Skylanders. Give me that. You get to touch and speak.
Get your mouth off of it, you idiot.
What's the
my
the
gosh.
iPad for kids? Like, yeah, take that.
Yeah.
That's my actual iPad. The launch pad, Leapfrog.
Leapfrog.
Leapfrog's
little-
still around. Leapfrog's
Big
still
buttons,
doing
yeah.
They
it.
seem to be doing pretty good.
Gosh, my niece, 3 years old, is like a pro with the iPad, just like swiping and like picking the apps that she wants. It is insane.
Yep.
Our children are going to be freaking geniuses.
Yeah, man.
Or they'll just be dumber. 'cause
No,
they're
we're going to be so dumb. We're
tied
gonna-
to technology. so
They're going to
much.
be like, hey, what's going on? They're
How
like,
do I get
controlling
down the
universe.
street without an iPad?
They're not going to.
Yeah, but it'll.
They're not going to need streets.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
It doesn't say much, man. But
No,
it,
but
it,
they-
it
oh,
rings like a
gosh.
tuning fork every time.
Killed it. Got some interesting updates. These are like things that we kind of like talk about a bunch on the show, and like things are popping up. New segment. Interesting updates.
Whoa, new segment, new couch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not a segment, man. Basically, I wanted to talk about this though. In November, customized backgrounds are coming to Xbox One. Not quite themes. They don't.
Did we
not
just find out
using the
about
theme.
themes coming to the Tuesday?
Yeah.
For the PS4.
They announced they're coming, but now we have a date at least for PS4. That's cool. So we kind of talked about how Xbox One might not work with themes, and they're doing it anyway. They're doing background art.
I think it'd be as cool as the 3DS themes.
So they
They
don't
play
like.
cool music.
You can't change the icons because those are pretty set in stone. And I don't.
The icons are like squares.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Like
He's
they,
talking about like the little wheel for settings and things like that.
No, I mean those squares. Like on the 3DS, your squares change. They change like colors and they have designs.
change
on them.
Yeah, but the
Colors
squares on the 3DS have like shading to them and kind of look like buttons. Where
Yeah,
like
yeah.
on Xbox, it's just a square.
You're right, and you can't change the colors of the
Yeah.
squares. Yeah.
Yeah, my squares are red
Why?
because I'm Blood Horse.
Perfect effing answer. Because I'm Bloodworth. So that was cool. That's coming to the Xbox One.
I mean, come on, like a Sunset Overdrive skin, it writes itself. Just paint splotches everywhere. And
Yeah.
like
I mean,
the
the
character's head popping in from the Borderlands.
The
like,
thing you're
thing.
imagining is a little cooler than what it actually ends up being because it is the background, and everything, all your icons and advertisements are up front, so it's a background. But cool, everybody's doing themes. We've learned that we all love themes, and it's cool all the consoles are getting themes. Blizzard announced that Hearthstone is coming to phones in early 2015.
And I am screwed.
Now you're screwed because now it invaded your
Okay,
office.
it's only
Actually-
on tablets now, right?
Yeah.
And I actually made the intentional decision when I got a tablet that I was like, oh, I can use this for work because when I get scripts, I don't have to print them out now and kill a bunch of trees. So I
Yeah.
can just read all my scripts on my iPad.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't get the cellular service. And so whenever like I'm out somewhere with my wife and we have to like sit there for 15 minutes, she's like, oh, whoop, pulls it out and plays Hearthstone. I'm like, I'll just play. I'll play Clash of Clans on my phone.
Oh, no.
So now it's like, oh no, I can. Oh no,
Yeah.
it's always gonna be right there. Like,
Yeah, and we talked a lot about, Titan, canceling Titan and just like, oh, Blizzard's doomed now. And like we were like, no, Blizzard's fine. I think this is gonna be more revenue.
it's also interesting. It's like, how the hell are they gonna do that? It's a tough game to shrink down to that size.
Is it? I would ask that
Yeah.
actually. Do you think
It does
maybe
seem like it, yeah.
you'll just have your own second half and like this?
That's kind of what I'm pondering. Is if they're gonna have a button on the right or the left that just moves it up and down, so you
Sure.
can see their cards or see your cards, or like a quick tap where like you'll see the whole screen.
Yeah,
and if
because you would probably do it
tap
like
the top or bottom.
You would
it'll
do it
zoom
like
in.
the widescreen and then scroll up and down, right?
Yeah.
It's
Rather-
doable, is what you're saying.
Maybe like Flick or something.
Also, I
Move
mean,
it.
look at the size of this thing.
It's pretty big.
If you're listening, show it to the camera. Even.
Still, there's so much.
They know what an
text,
iPhone
it's tough.
6 looks like.
if you're
You can
just
Google
listening, Damiani's holding
Plus.
up his iPhone 6 Plus,
Yeah.
which is
Which is like one of those trays you put your dinner on.
it's like a
You
dinner
know, it's
tray.
like-
It's the size of a dinner tray.
Look at this.
He's
huge.
sweating to lift it up. It
How
is
huge
so
it
heavy
is.
and huge.
Make sure there's no audio on it.
Okay, he's gonna show us something.
Now look.
What?
This is the next thing I want to talk about.
Yeah,
Toward
good
Damiani,
segue.
toward us. The great segue, Damiani.
Actually-
He's showing us.
Camp Pokemon.
Camp
Camp
Pokemon! This is
Uh,
amazing.
So describe what this is.
This is a better game than the Pokemon trading card game. It is a non-Nintendo affiliated Pokemon game on iOS. I don't know if it's on Android as well, but you go around and you do like these mini games and stuff that's actually designed for iPhone.
Did you
So
get a
it's-
back alley deal to show this off? What's
No, it looks like the Wind Waker.
It does.
And look, I'm not complaining about the Wind Waker for once, so you're recording this. But like, no, like Kyle
I
actually
have a
showed me
question.
this.
How much money did you spend on this?
$0.
$0.
It has like full voice acting. It has the C buttons from the N64.
That's
voice
funny.
acting.
So skip the crap. I don't know how to play iPhone games.
This does feel really weird now.
But here, this is what it like looks like. It's just these weird mini games.
We're not seeing it. You have to.
We'll turn it around in a sec. But like, I'm showing it to you. Like you flick the ball. Oh, it's terrible.
He's catching Pokemon right
Yeah,
now.
and you try and catch Pokemon and stuff with that.
That's like the early
So-
DS games.
There.
So this is what this is, everyone. It's Nintendo. Nintendo has no involvement with this. Pokemon Company went ahead and made a game about Pokemon for iOS, and they didn't really like tease it before they announced it. It's here it is. Here's Camp Pokemon. And it's like, whoa, hold on. And we talked a lot about that weird relationship they have, where like, does Pokemon Company need Nintendo necessarily? And look what they did.
Do we need Pokemon music now? Is that going to be like a new thing for GT time?
No.
This week in Pokemon news, blah blah blah. blah. Yeah,
It's starting to feel like.
I don't know. It's a big deal because like not everyone who
We had this whole discussion already.
Okay, fine. Bloodworth doesn't want to hear it.
When Star Wars Commander came out on iOS, I didn't bring that up, but we can talk about that for 10 minutes.
Because
if
that
you
wasn't
want to.
sacrilege.
involve Nintendo.
This thing is sacrilege.
It doesn't involve
Sacrilege?
Nintendo.
Yes.
There's no Nintendo involvement.
This is some weird loophole where they're just like, hey, Nintendo, we're making Pokemon games.
This is like
Good for them.
This is a prelude to Megaton.
You don't think they've been talking about this forever? like
Pokemon
throwing all
breaking
sorts of
off from
ideas
Nintendo.
out about like we're restricted. They're not doing anything.
Pokemon will not be on
Get to this
Nintendo.
platform.
This week, Iwata made some not crazy statements, very assertive statements.
Uh-oh.
How if you want to play a game with Mario or Donkey Kong, you have to own Nintendo hardware.
They've said that before. haven't
Yeah.
they?
is
This
not
is
new.
offensive to that statement. Do you know what I mean? That,
Well, you didn't mention Pokemon. So
Yeah,
right,
because-
because
that's the line.
within 5 years from now, there'll be the new Pokemon colors or whatever. Going to be on this and not on Nintendo's handheld system.
I would say you're crazy. 6 months ago,
Ultraviolet and
but
infrared.
They're doing
I
letters
mean,
now.
like, boo-hoo. They still have
Pokemon
Mario,
Android
Donkey
and
Kong,
Pokemon
Zelda,
iOS.
Star Fox.
None of them sell
Pikmin,
as well as
like-
Pokemon.
None of them sell as well as Pokemon.
Well, right, but I mean, still.
one of
like,
them.
Pokemon. The joke used to be in like the early 2000s, and Pokemon carried Nintendo through the hard times. Like
It really
GameCube
did.
era, Pokemon saved them.
yeah.
That was like the running gag. N64 era, they still have Pokemon started up. Look at this giant, huge franchise making money head over heels.
Yeah, Nintendo, put a stop to this.
Yeah, Pokemon Snap was clearly the standout 64 game. What are you talking about?
No, not N64. The portable ones.
Oh,
they
right.
always
Yeah,
sell
Yeah,
gangbusters.
Like the DS. Yeah.
Oh,
just-
for sure, yeah.
Good lord. Yeah.
that Pokemon Red,
DS was doing fine
Pokemon
before.
Yellow.
Yeah.
No one remembers that game. It didn't sell anything.
What are you talking about?
Neither did Pokemon. None of the Pokemon games.
Do I need the troll music right now, or are you being sincere?
Well, they don't sell very well.
Okay, you're being facetious. I get it. Okay.
Okay.
Bloodworth has had it. He's ready for Pokemon segment to end.
Pokemon on this will sell 10 times as much.
Well, it won't sell
any
anything
Pokemon.
because it is free. I mean, they're not selling it.
We just need to come up with our own franchise, so whenever Pokemon comes up, then you and I can be like, okay, so back to Fallout or whatever. I don't know, like,
Fallout? Oh, good grief. I would have
Fallout
the
had
same
Pokemon
reaction.
in it.
You're right. If we had a
you don't
Fallout
get lots of
segment-
Fallout news.
No. Well, I bet we will at E3. Fallout news at E3. You heard it here first.
The Crew. Maybe we can talk about
Oh,
the Crew.
the
or
game
something.
that everyone's known about.
Fallout at
everyone
E3
talk about.
could happen, I think.
Yeah. Fallout at the PlayStation Experience?
Yeah.
But remember Fallout 3 when they first announced
Stop
that? It was just like the zoom out. It was a classy trailer, but it
That was
wasn't
huge. I think that was definitely a big announcement. Yeah, the Skyrim announcement was just like, look at the stone wall, and we're just going to move the camera around.
Much. Yeah, I couldn't believe
That's how
people
you
were
do
so
it, isn't
excited
it?
about that.
That's how you do announcements these days.
Demos.
What if I play this game and I'm like, I don't like Pokemon games? You're like, no, Jones, you don't. You
That would
played
be
something."
awful. Yeah, it is not a
I'm
good...
just like, dude, I played the
Camp
island
Pokemon.
game,
Camp
Island Pokemon.
Yep.
I didn't like it.
That would hurt me.
Most Pokemon
Wasn't very
spin-offs
deep.
How
are
many years
awful.
later is it?
Anyways.
Sorry?
We're over 10 years later, and finally the Wind Waker visuals find a place
been matched.
in the world.
7.8.
They find some usefulness.
Speaking of 7.8, let's do our closing bet. Let's make a bet.
Oh, joy.
So NBA Live 15 released next week. Bloodworth made it clear to me this is actually its second year of being in retail since its hiatus. Just a weird series. They did like NBA Elite, and that was the one that had like weird glitches on YouTube that people were like joking
Base
at.
God.
And then they like pulled it. Like, okay, fine, we're not releasing that game. Like it's
Oh,
on
I
YouTube.
might have copies of that somewhere.
Ooh, that would be a cool
I
idea.
don't think we can do anything.
because it was close.
I don't think we can do anything with it.
Yeah. We can just like show people. That's cool that we might own that. NBA Elite 11, I think, is the name of the game. So yeah, poor game had a huge hiatus. In the meantime, NBA 2K became huge, critically acclaimed.
Well, they were already huge before that, but yeah.
They just stomped it. At that point, no competition, which is crazy. So anyway, NBA Live 15 released next week. By the time we record next week, how many customer reviews of the PlayStation 4 version of NBA Live 15 will be on Amazon.com?
Man, I should have looked at something to gauge that off of.
All right, fine. I'll tell you one thing.
Okay.
2K15 has 76 reviews right now.
Okay.
But that's after a long period of time. So it's just like after 1 week.
After a month, basically, yeah.
Or after
So
a month. So yeah,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Brandon, I think you get to choose whether to go first or last.
I'll go 30.
You went first and you picked 30 straight out. That was a strong bet. I'm going much lower. I'm going 15. Michael Damiani.
5.
5. Okay. Daniel Bloodworth.
18.
18 to beat me. Okay, cool. Let me lock those in. Okay. And let's talk about last week's bet. We got a really interesting one. Let me set up what it was.
Oh yeah, I can't remember.
It was how long would the end credits of The Legend of Korra be? Damiani, explain what happened here.
So there's a pro bending match that you play at the. So spoilers, end of the game.
Stop. Okay, spoilers. If you don't want to know what happens at the end of the Korra credits, stop watching this
Pull the
episode.
chute. Back out.
Yeah.
For 30 seconds.
Okay.
It's a pro bending match at the end of the game. And it's like the match, like it's a rematch that you were supposed to have earlier on. And it follows the show lore
Okay.
that you were supposed to do this. So as you're playing that match, credits begin to roll. So you have to like win the match to advance the credits. If you don't, it just like stops and like if you finish too soon, the victory pose stays up long enough so the credits those credits can keep going. And if you take too long and you like lose, you just do it again and like the credits don't come up again. So you can technically keep replaying that part over and over again. And if you don't beat it, you don't advance to the next part, which is the traditional show ending where the animation where the camera's going over the water towards Republic City, and then they do the credits there. Combined, if you just do it normally,
Okay.
like a match is only like 3 minutes long, and then the ending credits are like a minute. So I was gonna say whoever bet the lowest this week for last week won. It was like the lowest possible time. I think we all were picking like 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. Like it was probably like 3 to 4 minutes tops, max. So whoever picked the lowest won, I believe.
Not me.
The lowest bet was 6 minutes.
That person wins.
That person is Brandon Jones.
Wow, I thought I picked
That was your
7.
bet. Yeah. You picked 6 minutes.
Wow.
Bloodworth picked 7. Damiani was, of course, 7.8. And I went really high, I said 1041.
I'm doing pretty good on running time. That actually makes me feel really good because I'm an
Yeah.
editor. So anytime you talk about TRT, it's like, yeah,
So
I nailed
shortest,
it.
you're right. Shortest as possible is good, right? Exactly.
Yeah. Any of those comment numbers and review numbers, I don't know.
Brandon, you're up to 5 points.
I can't believe it.
Just behind me with 6. Michael Damiani, 8 points. Daniel Bloodworth. 10
People are going to shout conspiracy, man. It's like now that I'm I see my numbers are going up. It just doesn't look good.
I think it's, I don't mean, you're like, your house is getting finished, everything's coming together. Like,
Oh yeah,
it's just like,
it's all happening.
yeah.
Review season's almost over. It's all happening.
No, we're just in the middle of
I
review
don't know
season, I
about that.
feel
We're in like a lull, but
Yeah.
then it's about to get crazy.
But oh my goodness, I was actually thinking of a show I really wanted to pitch beforehand, but I'm
Right.
like, I'm not going to win it.
Right, so Brandon Jones,
Yeah.
as winner of the bet, you may now plug one show and close us out.
This show will happen after the next GT time, but we're working on conversations with these people, and finally we're like on their page, we're talking about it. But a week from Monday, we will be streaming live from the Nokia Theater in downtown Los Angeles with 8 super awesome independent games at an event called Indie Games Live. And you can go to indiegameslive.com right now, see all the games that are going to be there. Unfortunately, there's like 15, 16 games that are going to be there, and we're only going to be streaming for 2 hours, and so we figured we'd spend roughly about 10 to 15 minutes with each game. Mr. Damiani will be helping us with the streaming tech. Mr. Ian Hink will be hosting it, along with Andrea Renee. That is my 7th wedding anniversary, so I don't know if I'm going to be there.
Don't be there, don't do it.
Kyle's not a fan. Kyle's giving me a pass on that one, but I might stop by. It's a party still, so I can go there and like you said, get drunk and meet celebrities.
I don't know, you should go in a rowboat in a pond or something. 7 years, man, that's huge.
It's games though, It's like, isn't that every anniversary has like something? Isn't 7 years games? Isn't that isn't it games?
Yeah.
But that'll be super fun. It'll be live, and there'll be a lot of indie games. You can see again what games are going to be on there, and very excited for that. That's going to be very cool, and I'm super excited that they reached out to us to do that. So
Could
that
we
is
call
November 3rd. The event is from 7 to 10:30. I think we'll start streaming around 8. So it should be 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch, on twitch.tv/game trailers. And you can go to Indie Games Live and get all the info.
Can we call it a mini E3? It's going to be like
No.
that. Okay.
It'll be bigger than the Sony event. No, it won't.
So it's going to be like a micro E3. Micro E3.
A very micro E3.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we don't do stuff like that typically. Like live streaming events is pretty crazy. That's
Yeah,
gonna be-
and we're actually going to be doing a lot more fun live stuff. So look for more of that in the future. But this is kind of a, it's a new GT.
I'm
It's
excited.
a new dawn. So we're doing lots of fun, exciting stuff. But again, they reached out to us, so very grateful for them for considering Game Trailers to cover their fun event. And Ian loves the indie games. We chatted about them. He went to IndieCade, so he's going to be chatting with a lot of people. You know one of the people that's there. Does Ian know somebody? Or yeah, one of them is Ian.
I'm sure
it's
he does.
Diefenbach.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teddy Diefenbach.
So these are fun people that are making these games. So it's going to be cool, not to just play the games and have us, dumbbells talk about it for hours on end, but to actually
Yeah.
get the people that made them to hang out and
those
have a
dumbbells.
martini and talk about how stressful it is to make an independent game. So
Cool.
should be fun. Week from Monday. Check it out.
Sweet.
That's it.
Well, that's not it.
Well, that's it for the
We all got
the
Twitter,
regular
we
show.
got Twitter names and stuff.
Oh right. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have Twitter names. They are here. I'm tired, Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm all excited about the event now. I completely forgot.
You got me excited for that event.
There's a couch here. I'm all backwards this week. But yeah, you can follow us on Twitter. You can follow us, like I just said, on Twitch. You can check out our channel there on Twitch. We stream every day. You can follow us on Facebook and all sorts of social outlets. And thank you for watching the show. I love.
All right, Michael Damiani, what's in your mug?
I now know that Kingdom Hearts is light.
Wow. It's a Keyblade.
It is a Keyblade.
It's just a keyblade.
It's a very
It's not
small
like a bottle
Keyblade.
Does it
opener or a
belong to an
USB
action
plug or.
It is a mini version of the cool Keyblade I have.
Why
that
didn't you
one
bring the
wanted,
cool one?
Because that one fit in here. It was
I
like
see. It
huge.
does have to hit a mug.
That'd be hilarious
So-
if you just put the mug on top of it. Just put it over in the corner.
It is a Keyblade.
I now know that Kingdom Hearts is light.
Yes.
Is that from the first one?
Yes. It's when he's telling Ansem.
Kingdom Hearts isn't light. It's a whole world. What does that mean?
Okay, no, just for clarification, Kingdom Hearts isn't anything, right? Isn't Kingdom? Isn't like every single time Kingdom Hearts games come out, they're like, no. This is what Kingdom Hearts is.
Kingdom Hearts is this thing at the bottom right here.
No.
Disney.
Yeah.
Disney.
Sure.
Merchandise.
It's more Square than
Crossovers.
Disney, man. I don't know.
Crossovers.
Kingdom Hearts
Money.
merchandise.
Dollar signs. I need to make a dollar Keyblade. Like Keyblade made out of money. That would be perfect.
For the Scrooge world, the Scrooge McDuck world.
I'm just kind of bummed I don't have the other Keyblade. It's called the Kingdom Blade D. It's Mickey's blade, the gold one.
Yeah, his is
That's
cooler.
much better.
Yeah,
So was that
yeah.
sent to you, or did you purchase that?
Did I what?
Did you purchase that, or was that?
This is
sent to
this
you?
is a leftover from the GT offices. It was going to be discarded. I was like, you can't throw away Keyblades.
You can't throw
You
away
can't do that.
Keyblades,
Like,
no.
has history not taught anyone anything bad about giving Keyblades to the wrong people?
And what's cool is like it's actual like key size. I feel like you could
Yeah, I
unlock
know.
a door with that Keyblade.
Someone should make they should have like something at Disney where you get these and you can open doors to like skip lines and
No,
stuff.
what if they like sent you
Fast
like
passes.
HD remix in like an actual chest that you could only unlock?
Yeah, and you
with,
know
like,
the
a
key?
Keyblade they provided.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
I want to make a house with like Keyblade keys to open stuff and then hide them across the world.
Across
And then hide treasures in my rooms.
Oh my gosh.
That's a fantastic idea.
Like rare games, you can only get if you find them. But then Nicolas Nicolas Cage will get all
The
of them.
items are cool. I think the quotes are better. You know what I mean? It's like I thought just the item would be the fun thing, but it's like whatever he says every week is
yeah,
that's
like
the real treasure moment right there.
Damiani's mug and tell. Yeah, it's like the tell is really the fun part.
We should have a sweepstakes
What?
where I make a contest.
Hold on. Just so everyone knows, we're not allowed to do this, so this isn't a real suggestion, but I want to hear this out.
Where I get to like hide treasure across the world and stuff.
Yeah, we can't do
like
that. It's
keys.
a sick idea. It's a really
Somebody
cool
did
idea.
that.
Hide different
forget
Keyblades
who it
across the
was.
world.
Yeah.
And they open rooms somewhere in the world, and there might be amazing prizes behind those doors.
Why do you say might be? What's the other option?
I haven't thought of that yet, but there could be something bad behind the door.
Like a pit. You open the door and there's just
Like another key.
Was it Assassin's
Yes,
or
it-
was it like a smaller game? Somebody did bury a treasure somewhere. I can't remember who it was.
Someone did that. Yeah, they buried a treasure and they told people to go find it, and they gave clues.
And they always find it so fast. People just find your treasure in one day.
I know. What if I could hide one of the things, the grand prize, just hid it on the moon with
Then-
a NASA collaboration?
You would be a hero. We would read about you.
Internet
would be-
would not solve that in a week.
Yeah.
That's why he's so late every day. He'd come in at like 2 in the afternoon and be like, I was on the moon today, guys. I had to drop off that plastic keyboard.
Good luck, internet, finding that in a week.